Right up to your mouth. Yes. And now sun. This is great in Utah, right? And we're so thankful for this year. That you care about your community and your neighborhood. My name is Beth Hedengren, and I'm the District 4 Chair. And get to work with your wonderful representatives on the District 4 Executive Board. And I just wanted to quickly introduce them to you. Would you all just stand up? And our District 4 people, and I made them wear name tags so that you could all know who they are and who your representatives are. We have Aaron Skablin from the River Grove. Mike Roberts representing BYU. Very much. Oh, Brent Hall. Hi. And you're from also River Grove. Thank you, Brent. And Eric Chase, North Park. Lynn Sorensen, Pleasant View. Mindy Jefferson, Grandview South. Mel Smith, Grandview North. Have I missed anybody? Thank you all for these people are working really hard. They help your neighborhood. So thankful for them. We are so grateful today. We have Mayor Kaufusi and all these wonderful department heads with us today. And we're going to learn about all the different departments that keep this department running, this Provo City running. Mayor Kaufusi is here. Thank you. I didn't want to scare you, so I thought I was going to approach you from the back. Hello. We're so glad you're here. I did a little research. Mayor Kaufusi was born and raised in Provo. She graduated from Provo High. She left Provo only to follow her husband, who was playing football in Philadelphia. And then she returned in, what was it, 2002? You probably know all that's over there. For 6 years on the school board. 7 years. 7 years on the school board. And has been leading our city since 2017. I'll believe you. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us. Please welcome Mayor Kaufusi. First of all, I'm just looking at all my peeps up here. I haven't even seen you guys today. We've been working so hard, most of you. So let me just start by saying thank you for allowing us to take one of your neighborhood meetings. I know that this new program is exciting and has a lot of moving parts and it's kind of in its first phase, but I really do appreciate you allowing the mayor and her department directors to come in and take an hour of your time just to share with you what's going on and to report and be held accountable. So first, I think we'll just show a fun little video that's like 2 minutes to just tell you some things that are going on in Provo. And then after that, I'll have my directors introduce themselves. And the sound isn't great in this room. It's supply chain issues. I just got an email.
I think we got a fix, so that's it.
Cities don't just have 1,000 incorporated communities in America.
But now we're ready.
Like Provo City are community building together and achieving national accolades for their efforts. The healthiest communities are built on a strong foundation, and ours are the Provo Pillars. Provo City's 4 Provo Pillars are economically vibrant, safe and sound, forward-looking, and welcoming. They serve as both a visionary statement of what we always strive to be, as well as the brand promise or experience we are creating for all in our city. Gilligan Institute recognized Provo City as the nation's best performing city for the second year in a row, with Mayor Kaufusi accepting the top award amongst other deserving cities, including Austin and Miami, Denver, and Los Angeles. But being good should never be good enough. We are setting our standards even higher to achieve exceptional. This new standard is now the driving force behind our first Provo City mission statement: exceptional care for an exceptional community. So what does it mean to be exceptional? Definition, it means unusually good or outstanding. But more importantly, how do we become an exceptional community? Exceptional results arrive only when exceptional people put in exceptional effort. It never arises by accident or good fortune. Continually working together, we will achieve our mission statement. While there's much to divide us, we can come together with community pride for the exceptional standards we are achieving and a shared one Provo spirit for continued success. Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success.
Oh, wow, you bet it just never gets old seeing all those beautiful pictures of Provo. It just, I love it. I love every view and every shot they get because we live in such a wonderful community. Why don't we this is kind of how we will run this evening. We'll have the directors introduce themselves and which departments they represent. And then I'm going to go over my report card is what I call it. My report card to all of you. We did a survey and asked the citizens what they wanted. We got back the results and turned it into our 4 pillars. And we'll go over our report cards, and then at that time, we'll spotlight 4 items on our report card, our 4 pillars. Answer your questions you submitted. This is where it gets a little bit fun, is just because we've all been here since 7 this morning. At 7:15, regardless of where we are in the questions, if we have not answered all the submitted questions, we will get the answers and have Rachel send them out. But at 7:15, I'm going to do a hard stop. And I'm going to let Beth run it from there for the last 15 minutes with a Q&A. You can ask us anything. Like I said, you have got the heavy hitters in the room. These are the people that sometimes when you call and try to get maybe to one of them, it's a little tricky because we have a lot of employees. So this is your one night a year where you have the real heavy hitters in the room that you can ask us your hardest questions. Okay, let's go ahead and start with Chief Beebe. Oh, you've got a microphone. Okay, Chief.
Good evening, I'm Troy Beebe, I'm your Chief of Police.
Thank you for coming tonight. I'm Scott Henderson, Director of Provo Parks and Recreation, and a District 4 resident.
Yeah. And I'm John Borg, the Director of Administrative Services. I oversee finance, human resources, our information technology, facilities, and our justice court, and also District 4 universal side of the year.
My name is Brian Jones, I'm the city attorney, and up until a couple of years ago, I was a District 4 resident, so it looks like you're the winning district so far, I think.
Good evening, I'm Jim McGill and I'm your fire chief, and these guys are just showing off. My name is Dave Decker, I'm the director over Public Works.
My name is Travis Ball, I'm the director of Provo City Farm.
Bill Pepperoni, director of Development Services.
Hi, I'm Amanda Erkenbrecht, the director of customer service. I'm Carla Gordon, I'm the director of the library.
And my name is Isaac Paxton, I'm the deputy mayor.
I'm just going to tell you, you won't find finer people. These people are great directors. They're great leaders. I actually learn from them every day in the way they lead their different departments. They do a phenomenal job. So thank you for giving up your hour tonight with me, everybody. I really appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the 4 pillars. The first pillar, when we set out and asked the citizens what they were looking for, the first thing that came back, the majority was, who is Provo? What is Provo like? And we kind of took all the answers and put it into welcoming. Provo is known for being a welcoming community. We have an exceptional, I use that word because that's our mission statement. We have an exceptional quality of life. And so our first pillar that floated to the top was welcoming. So let me just talk about a few things that we're going to focus on that is welcoming in our community. I'm going to read through these and then I'll go back and have one of the directors spotlight one of them. Number one, right out of the gate, Provo Parks and Recreation is best in the nation with the National Gold Medal Award this year. We're nationally competitive. I think people sometimes forget that when we say Parks and Rec, they think of mostly our recreation center, but it includes our Peaks Ice Arena, our Covey Center, our Tipanogas Golf Course, and did I forget anything, Scott? And 32 parks and the cemetery. I mean, I'm just walking through your department in my mind.
Programs, all the exciting things, all the exciting connections with our cities.
Yeah, it's just such a wonderful department, and when this award was amazing, we're really lucky to have Scott and his department in our city. All right, let's go on. So our Provo City Hall, it has enhanced the citizen-friendly experience and the public safety headquarters. Our public safety building that you're sitting in right now has already won accolades for being top-notch, deserving, safest. I'm just looking at you, trying to think of all the things you've been winning for this beautiful building. And again, this is all because of the citizens. They saw the need. They saw what we were dealing with when we built the old facility that if you haven't had a chance to drive around the back, it's a sight to see that's going down. But that fire department was built for 40 officers. We are now, I'm going to give the net guess again, Chief. I'm going to say today because it changes if one of our officers gets called to service or something, military service, 119. Is that right? So today we have 119 officers in the city. Again, they were housed in a facility that was built for 40 and were housed in broom closets. It was just deplorable. And the beauty of that was when we saw the need, we brought the citizens in and let them decide. We educated you on our need, and then thank heavens for all of you. You saw the need, and now we're sitting in this beautiful public safety state-of-the-art building. Literally on one floor is more square footage than in the whole old department. So we are an exceptional community. Now we have a police department and a facility and a fire admin department that speaks to that. Our regional sports park, we're going to come back to this in just a second, and I'll have Scott talk about this. This is a very exciting project that we've been working on. And let's just scroll down to the bottom one, which is the Big 12. You're saying, Mayor, why do you care about the Big 12? I care about the Big 12. BYU is joining this conference on July 1st. It is going to be such an exciting event for us. I don't even care if you like football or not, because I've been to a lot of football. Well, not a lot. My husband's here. He'll testify. I usually go for about a quarter or a half. I can't sit through a whole game. There's too much to do. But when this came to my mind that we were going to join this conference on July 1st, after traveling with football teams for a lot of years, I realized Provo City is the first impression. When I would travel, we would go into the city, so I wouldn't go straight to the stadium and say, wow, what a wonderful stadium. This is a great first impression. No, the first impression is the community. And so we're going to launch a campaign to ask everybody to put their best foot forward and really step up and embrace this new conference we're joining. There's a lot of positives coming in the community, including spending money, which we want them to do. We want them to come and spend their dollars here in Provo because it lifts all of us in our tax base. Okay, Scott, let's jump back to the regional sports park, and I'm just going to have Director Henderson address this exciting event that's coming shortly.
Well, thank you, Mayor. The regional sports park is exciting, and it's very different for our department. We are in trail development and in neighboring parks, but this is a park where it talks about the economic development of our city and providing an opportunity for visitors to come to our city. It was also driven by a local need. We have 330 different teams that are utilizing 11 fields in Provo right now. And as we've signed up kids for our soccer program, we have had to cut off registration because we don't have places for kids to play. And this year, even more so, it filled up quick. And that's not our job. Our job is to get children active and in active lifestyles and be able to make that happen and be able to provide the capacity. It has a local benefit, but any of you that have had kids in youth sports and have traveled around know that we don't host tournaments here because we don't have the fields. You have had to go on the road and travel, every single family, and they know the cost of that. Now we will be hosting these tournaments here. It's an estimated economic impact just on the soccer and flat field aspect of this park is $30 million in local spending every single year. And that's in those areas that were hit hardest by the recent pandemic. Hospitality, restaurants, retail, all those things that we want to support in our community, we can help visitors come and help do that with us. So this we'll be working this year, getting the infrastructure in the ground. Sod will be going on in spring of next year, and 15 of the fields just above the east-west connector road in the middle will all be ready to go next fall. So this is right on the horizon and an exciting element. There's two things that the mayor always seems to say to you. Do you have it done? And what's next? And that seems to be the overriding process here. So we move on, we do exciting things, and with the mayor's leadership and with the council's support, we have really been able to elevate. Those of you that have been in Provo for a while know that Parks and Recreation wasn't always a gold medal department. We are experiencing something that is very different now, and it's very exciting, and the regional sports park is a great example of that.
Where's that located? We both know. We do
That's like right next to the new airport, just across Lakeview Parkway from the new airport, which it creates a great synergy because a lot of these youth teams are coming by private jets and going to these different areas. And obviously having an airport that close is going to really make for a great successful synergy between the two. Thanks, Mayor.
That's one of our exciting things that we'll be looking forward to putting the ribbon on in the next couple of years. All right, let's go on to our safe and sound. This was another top priority for the citizens when we asked what you wanted. Again, Provo City Hall is the state-of-the-art public safety headquarters. These are some of the awards it's already won. The 2022 Award of Excellence Building Industrial Division Project. Another exciting one is Fire Station 2. I don't know if you've been on Canyon Road, but it used to be an old, I just say a haunted house, chief. I know you're gonna be like, stop it, but we grew up thinking it was haunted. Again, born and raised in Provo, ran all these streets. So it is the first new fire station in 20 years that we've ever built in Provo. And my favorite part about this fire station is on the left side, you can see is a community room. And that community room is for you. It is free of charge. We want you to use it. It is there for you to come and do an event or I mean, we've had everything from scout meetings, neighborhood meetings, to birthday parties. I mean, we are here to serve you. Do you want to just speak to it for a quick second? You're just coming off your seat. I can tell it's hard for you to let me talk about it, but we both love it.
Well, as we pursued this bond, we knew we had to do something to provide a place for our community to meet. And so it is a very comfortable room. You can get about 60 people in the room. If we're just seated like this, about 30 people if you're at tables. And we want you, all you need to do is call the fire department to reserve the room. And the firefighters that are up there are very accommodating, and they're looking very forward to seeing and interacting with our community.
Another part of being the mayor is, for me, when I was growing up, it was all about community. The community was so good to me. And so now you literally are sitting in a second community room that is here for the public to use. So we have 2 community rooms that are free of charge that we want you to utilize if you have the need. All right, we're gonna come back and talk. I'm gonna have our head our head engineer talk about the 2 pedestrian bridges. So then we'll move on to Wildland Urban Interface Program. This is one that they're actually gonna come back and talk about. I think they're gonna do a special presentation to you all on this eventually. So it's just a wonderful program, and we've seen great results from getting out ahead of clearing up the, what do you call it?
The brush, just the fuel.
The fuel,
Fire.
we call it the fuel, because if a match were to go in, that would fuel up really fast. And then the next one, we'll scroll down to Fire Station 1, is opening fall of 2024. It is going out on the same pad that the old one was on, but it will be a beautiful new fire station that will serve this area in the city of Provo. Hence the demolishing that's taking place in the backyard, fast and furious. And then one that I'm beyond proud of is not only were we the #2 safest city in the United States of America this year, but we were #1 safest city in the state of Utah. And all the credit goes to our police department. We have the most amazing officers. And the reason I love them so much is because they aren't just officers to be officers. They are officers that have a genuine care for the citizens of Provo. They're in the schools. I don't know if you know this, but we have an officer in each middle school and in the high schools. The engagement's amazing. These officers, men and women, are dedicated to the city, and hence they are the safest city in the state of Utah and the second safest city in the United States of America. That is a pretty heavy award, and I'm so proud of our chief and that whole department. So Gordon, why don't we jump back to the 2 pedestrian bridges, and why don't you give just a little update on what that's all about?
Thank you. So really excited for the city is to have a pedestrian bridge over the Union Pacific Railroad tracks over by the intermodal hub off 6 South or 6. Yeah, 6 South. It is critical because people would come to the track station. We have trains that would be across the gate, so people literally crawling between trains to get to the train on time. So this will be done this fall. So it's absolutely critical. Have an elevator in, it'll be great. There's a little rack, so if people want to walk their bikes up, they don't have to bounce up the stairs, or this will be able to really help the community get back and forth. We're also going to be putting sidewalks in there to make it really convenient for people to get to this station. We're also looking at trying to get some funding for the bridge between BYU and the old Provo High School, where they've actually started looking at what they're going to be doing. So those are the things we're working on right now.
Thanks, Gordon. All right, and if you're gathering questions in your head, hold on to them, because we'll have that 15 minutes where you can ask us anything. So let's roll on to the next one. Our next pillar that we, again, my report card was the economy was a big priority for the community. And so economically vibrant is a key priority for us. These are some of the things, again, that are going to help with our economy. Our regional sports park will bring in $40 million in local spending. The new target that's coming, it's amazing. We're going to come back to that, and I'll have my development services director speak to it. Our Provo International Airport. You're thinking, what is she saying? It's just the Provo Airport, but amazingly, and who's been out to the new airport? Raise your hand. So it's an amazing, I mean, I'm so proud of these directors and their departments and how they were able to work together and pull this thing off. We cut the ribbon on it in July, Dave? July, and we are already out of space. We are at parking capacity. We are courting some major airlines. And if they were to call me tonight and say, Mayor, okay, we'll come, I would have to say no, because we do not have the space for them. That's how successful this new airport has been. So we started talking to people and asking them, you know, what should we do? We got together and collaborated. We started getting letters of intent from airlines saying, Mayor, if you'll build an international component, we'll fly from Provo to Cabo. We'll fly from Provo to Cancun. We just need the international component. In the meantime, we also were really forward thinking on this airport. We all know that, unless, well, maybe you don't know, because I've learned a lot being mayor, but this expensive stuff is the ugly infrastructure. And sorry, Dave, because he loves infrastructure, but it's in the ground and it's expensive and no one sees it. but it is what matters. It is what makes the city work. And so when we built this airport, we knew how much money we had. We knew our budget. We put in the ground the infrastructure to build out to 10 gates. We only had the finance to build out 4, which we did. And we cut that ribbon with 0 debt and not a dime out of your tax-paying pockets. So it is a phenomenal achievement for the whole community. And so here we are, back at it again. We're working really hard to gather funding again to open 3 more gates and put in the international component. So, and like Scott said, I know I'm feeling like I put pressure on these guys, but I really don't. I just tell them, let's just swing for the fences. While we're here, let's just see, nothing's off the table. Is there something we should at least go for? Then at least if we get it, like a new airport, then the citizens will know we worked really hard for them. If we don't, at least we tried. So this is one we're swinging for in the next couple of years. And we're on a successful path. There's a lot of information that'll be coming out shortly, and it's very exciting. Another exciting component is that we're already over 1,000 jobs. We've been able to hire folks all around in Provo and Utah County, and it's just a wonderful asset to our city. Okay, Freedom Commons, first Class A office space built in downtown Provo in 12 years. This is just right down, it's on where the Smith parking lot is. It's that new building that's at the back end of the Smith parking lot. And then the next one is our Provo Advantage program and campaign that we're doing right now. The Provo Advantage campaign is all about letting people know our story on what we're doing in our economic development department and what we're doing as a community and city. It's telling Provo's economic story. There's our impressions, there's our amazing reach and our total engagement. Those numbers are even a little old. We're having such success with this, letting people know what we're doing. And every month we do a short little video, and then we spotlight different businesses, and it's just really doing amazing things for our economy and the community. And then the nation's best performing city. But this is an accolade that I will take no credit for. This is an accolade that my directors and employees have all achieved. I just was the lucky one that got to go down and get on a stage and to go back and forth with all those heavy hitting mayors about why they all need to move to Provo. But it really, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, because the secret is nothing Mayor Kaufusi does. The secret is the community, the citizens, the way we take care of each other, the way we care for our neighbors. Those are some of the main reasons we're the best performing city for 2 years in a row. I mean, that's unheard of. And so it's really a great humbling honor to accept on your behalf. So let's scroll back up, Bill. And why don't you speak to the new exciting super target that's coming?
So I feel like we're very fortunate in the community to have an outstanding economic development director in Keith Moore. Part of his job, the main part of his job, is to bring new businesses into the community. So I'm gonna let Keith tell you about that.
That's a serious case to pass the buck right there. No, I'm really privileged and pleased to be able to do this. I started working for Provo City in January 2020, but I've worked in Utah for about 30 years, and this is by far the best community I've ever worked for. It's been the most fun, and there's just some incredible things happening. When we talk about the Provo Advantage, just quickly to Provo's horn, it really is you. I mean, I really think all the great things that are happening are really a reflection of our great citizens, our warm hearts, how charitable we are, how kind we are to each other, and it just creates a great environment where people want to live and work and start businesses. So the mall, as all of us know, has struggled for a little while, and we've been hoping and trying to do our part to incentivize and to promote redevelopment at that location. And we're very happy that they have been able to secure a lease agreement with Target to take place at the Dillards, and that will be an incredible amenity and is the kind of the beginnings of the redevelopment for that site. They have plans to have several other tenants that typically follow Target to come in. They're trying to finalize lease agreements with them right now. They've been talking to JCPenney's about an upgrade to that store that they want to have happen. Same thing with the Cinemark, hopefully some residential on the north end that will stabilize and prop up that retail core that's so essential to us. So we're really excited. There's been a lot of discussion and debate about more grocery opportunities in Provo, and to have a super Target that I think meets our demographic. It's the kind of shopping that we like in Provo, and then have a grocery amenity will be a great asset to our community.
Thanks, Keith. We're really excited. All right, our next one is forward-looking, and forward-looking, you think, why does that really matter? But as the mayor, it's my responsibility to think 30 years out. Every decision I make, I have to sit with my advisors here and think, in 30 years, are we going to regret this? Or are we going to be glad we did this? So the beauty of that is it really puts us on the right path with all of our heavy decision making. So one of the things we've started is Preserving Provo campaign. This is a year-long initiative to educate and empower our community to preserve Provo's quality of life. As you came in, there's a table back here and you're wondering, why are there places to sign up? We want you to be able to receive this information with our Preserving Provo campaign. It talks about our sustainability programs. It talks about our renewable energy. It talks about how are we going to keep Provo as great as it is and even greater for our children and their children. Because the bottom line is we all want our families to live around us. At least I think I'm going through my kids right now. I think I do. I think I want all of them around me. But I want to make sure that they get to have the wonderful experience that I got to have when I was born and raised here in Provo. So this Preserving Provo campaign is a big deal and it's fun. So grab and sign up back there on the table before you leave and grab any information that we have laid out. A website. So this website that we're using currently in the city is 10 years old. Interesting enough, there's been multiple reasons why we need to upgrade it. We were looking at this and talking about what it would look like, and we clicked on current events. The current events was 9 years old. That's not current. It's so embarrassing. And that's my fault. I should have had my eye to this closer and faster and sooner, but I'm on it now. So not only are we going to, we've already starting at the very back of each department and working their way forward. We're gonna, in the next year or two, come up with a wonderful website that is user-friendly and that will have an app involved with it. So you can just touch the app on your phone and find and navigate whatever you need to find in the city of Provo. It's going to be a fun project. Okay, our Aquifer Storage and Recovery, our ASR program. We're going to come back to this, and I'm going to have our Public Works Director speak to this. Another exciting thing that is forward-looking is our wastewater treatment plant. This surpasses current standards to meet anticipated future regulations. You guys are so sick of this story, but when I became mayor, one of the first things I did is I went and met with each of my directors and said, okay, so tell me, what can I do to help you? And take money off the table. I need you to be really honest with me and tell me what is broken in the city that I need to help you with. And the sewer was, I mean, I'll just never forget it. Dave Decker and another one of his coworkers. I could tell everyone, in fact, all these directors that were the directors at the time were a little bit nervous having the mayor just alone with them saying, be really honest with me and don't sugarcoat anything. But they eventually were honest. It took a minute for some of them. But the fact that our sewer system was almost in failure mode and with regulations and phosphorus regulations, we were in a lot of trouble. So I just said, fine, I'll be the sewer mayor and we will build a new sewer system for the residents of Provo, because you're the best mayor until everyone's sewer's backed up in your tubs and showers, right? And I wasn't going to let that happen on my watch. So that's an exciting, that'll be a huge day for all of us when we cut the ribbon on that in 2 years, Dave?
2024.
2024. So we're really excited. It will meet all the regulations. This membrane, I've learned way more than I wanted to ever, but the membrane is just state of the art. They're talking about us up at the state, how forward thinking we are with this one. It's going to be great. And then this water treatment plant allows us to more fully utilize our water rights to meet future demands. So Dave Decker is exhausted because these three projects right here are under his tutelage. So they kind of tie in, the ASR and the water treatment plant tying together. So Dave, why don't you speak to that one?
Thanks, Mayor. Just really quickly, most residents don't know, but in Provo, you have an extraordinary advantage when it comes to drinking water, and it's not It's not my doing, it's not Mayor Kaufusi's, so we try to support many decisions. But over the last 150 years in the history of Provo, there have been very good and very significant decisions made. So Provo City residents get about 95% of their water from the ground. Most people don't know that. We operate 16 wells in the city, and they're taking water out of the aquifer underneath our feet. The other source of water from groundwater comes from Provo Canyon. We operate about 160 springs in Provo Canyon. We gather that in a pipe and it comes into Provo City, and we use that for drinking water. And one of the concerns that we identified several years ago in master plan is the aquifer has been declining, and it's been declining for many years. In some cases, in the mid 80s, in the 70s, some of the wells that I mentioned were drilled, and we monitor this, what they call the static water level of the ground in those wells. And over the years, it's been in decline, in some cases up to 100 feet in decline. And one of the concerns is that this is a fairly common problem in the western United States, and particularly in Utah County. This is not unique to Provo City. But one of the concerns that we have is if we continue to let that go unmanaged, then we end up having a problem eventually with our drinking water and potential other secondary effects in the city. So we've taken a very proactive approach in Provo City and said, we have other water rights, primarily in the Provo River, that are not being fully utilized right now. And so we can put in a culinary water plant that's planned just north of the Raintree Apartments, if you know where that's at. Large parking lot that's just north of those apartments. The city's recently bought that land, and our plan is to put a 30 MGD, that's 1 million gallons per day, treatment plant at that location. From the treatment plant, it will be pumped uphill underground in that infrastructure that the mayor was mentioning. We'll pump it up to a couple of tanks that sit just east of the MTC, if you know where the culinary water tank. From there, it will be pumped a second time up to the mouth of Rock Canyon. In the last 2 or 3 years, if you've ever walked in Rock Canyon and noticed water running in the natural stream there, especially in times that you wouldn't normally expect it, you're observing a pilot program that's been going on. And we're actually watching the water. We have 12 monitoring wells in the area, and we're actually watching the water fall into the ground out of that natural channel. Rock Canyon is an ideal ASR project. It's one of the best in the state. We can put a lot of water in the ground. We're actually watching the water with the monitoring wells, filling the aquifer, not in just Rock Canyon, but we're actually seeing the effect downstream, down underground downstream. And so it's a little bit, the way I describe it is we have this huge reservoir underneath our feet in Provo City, and that's really what we're managing, what we're trying to help. So it's basically taking what nature is supplementing in the aquifer, and we're saying, hey, we're going to help out. We're going to supplement it with water out of the Provo River, and so that's the primary reason that we're building that treatment plant.
Okay, that's
Anything
great.
else?
Do you want to just talk about our FEMA grant we got, the largest award?
Yeah, so last summer, so we made, when this project started getting planned out, we had several opportunities to make an application for award money. And we made an application to FEMA, which is a federal agency. They generally look at floodplains and flood management, but in this particular case, they were advertising for ASR projects because they look at droughts. And they're saying that's a national emergency that's starting to impact many Western states, and we need to be proactive about it. So we made an application. We were very surprised. We got the maximum grant award of $50 million to help with that project. Still trying to work through some of the details. We don't have full cooperation from some of the joining agencies. But right now, the plan is to move forward with that treatment plant this summer. It will take about 2.5 years to construct that treatment plant.
Thanks, Dave. Again, that's just another great forward-looking project that this aquifer being in charge will provide water for how many generations, Dave?
Right now, it's many generations. This is going to be the best way to sustain your water supply in Provo.
So again, it's just another one of our forward-looking and a part of our report card we have for our citizens. All right, so that is basically my report, and now we will move on to the questions that were submitted. We've got the department heads here that will take the questions accordingly. They have already seen these and they've already signed them out. Who's going to answer them? So why don't we go ahead and start with the first question? Do you have it, Rachel, want to read it?
It's right there, this
Oh, safety and functioning, yes?
1720 North and Carterville Road intersection.
Yes, again, my name is Gordon Pate. I'm the city engineer here for Provo. Last year, the mayor directed us to do a safety action plan where we looked at all the streets, all the accidents that have taken place in 10 years. We've just seen unacceptable rise throughout the nation in Utah of fatalities and severe injuries. It's just gone crazy. So we've made a point looking at the safety action plan. This location is on that plan. What we're doing is we have a transportation committee that is going to help us go through all the locations in the city that have been identified in our high incident accident network and start prioritizing which projects we should be working on first. So what I want to tell you is last year, I've only been here a year, I went with MAG and did a bike ride down Carterville and noted all the issues that we have with different safety points. This is one of those locations that you're bringing up. So we have a new transportation manager that's going to start actually next Thursday. So we've been trying to fill some positions. So this will start and we're going to take a very proactive look at this. And we have some ideas of things that already should be in place to try to help make this a little better intersection. Did that answer the question?
Are you up again, Gordon? Or
Yeah.
the next one?
The Carterville walking path.
Yeah, so this also came to the administration. We were working on the budget, and I suspect it came from residents talking about the idea of getting a path behind the Walmart. So what they were looking at was getting a path down the hill so that people that are hike or walk to Walmart. And what's interesting is there's already a very well-worn path. So apparently we have a lot of residents doing that already. And so the idea would be this year, I don't know how they would go down in the snow. I don't think they should, the school's treasurers, but getting a good path through there. So Keith and I have been meeting with Walmart and the property owners over there and have talked to them about this, gone out and showed them some ideas, met with them, and they're agreeable to work out something for us. So we're waiting to see if we get funding for this project, and then we'll sit down and work with Walmart on the details. So if you have any questions, call me and I'll answer your questions. Walmart's waiting for the city to figure out if we're going to be able to fund that. Once if we do, then we'll be back in touch with them. So any questions? This is Carterville Road just behind Walmart. It's up high. The neighborhood Walmart. There's a neighborhood Walmart.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a neighborhood Walmart, sorry. I should have been more specific.
Used to be Albertsons. If you
I've been over there about 5 times, so that's me, I need to be a little more specific with that. Did I answer that question? Yes.
Okay, so there used to be a road that went, is that the place that you're gonna be building the trail? I mean,
I don't think there was ever a road off this hill, but there's kind of a dirt.
we drove our car up that road time ago, yeah.
Okay, that's a little scary, but
It's been a long time ago, but.
okay, then that's probably the truth, then it's probably the location.
No,
Okay.
the road is to the south. The informal trail is to the north.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this road that she's talking about, the remnants of it still exist, and we own that piece of property. Okay, and the road, the trail that she referenced is on the piece of property just to the south.
Oh, so you're the property owner. Okay, I understand where you're at.
Between where that trail winds down, and the house to the north of that, that's our piece of property.
Yeah, the piece we were looking at is owned by the Walmart property, so we weren't trying to become your property. Yeah, so if you look, oh yeah,
Sorry.
you got all kinds of
got
stuff.
some good photos.
Yep,
Yes.
sorry, let me get this better.
So here's the neighborhood Walmart, and so you can't see real good, but there is a zigzag trail that comes down right through there. And so we would probably mirror that.
Have you thought about what you want to do with that trail?
So Carterville, we're looking at a whole Carterville trail that goes through Orem and Provo, clear over to the River Woods. So that's one of the things that we're looking at as well. But this particular project is basically just to take you from the Carterville Road to the parking lot so that people can active, they don't have to go all the way around. They'll have a nice path down to the shopping area.
Well, we think that where that shorter path starts, right there. We think that's our property
That
line
is your property.
down.
So I was looking at one that kind of zigzagged through here over on the Walmart property is what we had kind of laid out preliminarily. So that's what we're thinking. So we wouldn't have to be on your property. Walmart is who we were working with to put on there up there by now. So again, talk to us if you talk to me and we'll be able to answer questions as this project addresses.
Just for the newspapers as well, just something I'm please reminded that there's a lot of trees and shrubbery and stuff that makes it unsafe and getting down there. I've never gone down that path because I'm pretty worried about all the bushes, and there have been people like that in that path. There was a man from our neighborhood who worked at Walmart and would take that shortcut to our neighborhood and that was in the hospital.
Wow.
Was attacked by some guys in those trees. So just if you do it, just to make sure to make it so it's visible and easy to get down without having a lot of obstruction for people.
That's really good. And we did look at lighting through there, so that was part of it. It was really good to have another perspective. So once we get going on this, we would definitely want to have some public input to really make it useful for the community.
Okay, let's try. I should say, let's try and get one more question in, and then we're gonna have to move to the public comment piece, just so we have a minute. So the next question, I think Dave Decker's gonna take this one. So status of the Rotary Park well and Rotary Park playground.
So very quickly, the status of the Rotary well, most of you know, we spent a number of years drilling a well in Rotary Park. And one of the issues that we found in that location, when we drilled deep, we went about 700 feet in the ground drilling that well. We ended up hitting a layer in the aquifer that has some significant minerals. If you know anything about water, it's highly regulated. Drinking water is highly regulated. And one of the issues that they look at is different mineral content, and we exceeded that mineral content when we went through that layer. So we actually backed the well up. We plugged part of the well, that lower part, and we're trying to clean that area. And so what you're seeing right now is really two things happening. So we're finishing off the well, and we're continuing to pump the water out of the well, try to get to the water quality that the state requires. You're also seeing on the surface the parking lot preparation to finish off the parking lot in front of that well house. So right now, the city crews putting in piping system for the stormwater, some basic underground. And then we have a contract that will start middle of April to go in and put road base and asphalt, curb and gutter, everything to finish off the parking lot. So you'll see that fairly quickly completed. If I can mention one other activity that you're probably seeing or noticing, if it's not happening today, it's probably going to happen relatively soon. In this same park, relative to that water quality issue that I was talking about, we plan, and again, it's either underway or it's very soon, it's imminent. We're going to drill another smaller well. It's a 12-inch diameter well that we're going to go in and go down and not penetrate that layer that we were talking about. So we're actually going to stop short of that layer and do water quality testing to find out if indeed we have water quality higher in the well that we're not aware of. And so it's kind of a test well that we can go in and do some water quality. I don't know how far or how many people are noticing, but the same drilling method was used over on Columbia Lane. There's a relatively new water tank, and it took us about a week or two to go in there, and we drilled exactly the same purpose. And we found that the water quality in front of that tank actually met all the drinking water standards. And so we're able to drill a well in the future. That's actually the plan, to eventually drill a well in that location, equip it, and then be able to pump it and put it right into that new culinary water tank.
Okay, so we're out of time. So Gordon, can you answer number 6 through email to Rachel, and then we'll just get it sent out to everybody? Okay, perfect. So this is where Beth gets to take back over. So kind of what we asked Beth is we just want people to state their names so we can get to know a name with a face. And then we try and not have anyone say more than 2 questions. We try and get through everyone as many people as chance. And then I'm going to do a hard stop at 7:30 and excuse the directors so that we can get them home since it's been a long day. And if you do have a question, you can catch them in the hallway on the way out. So it's all yours.
Yeah. All right, what questions do we have? Here's one there.
Richard
Please state your
Isaacson,
name.
Richard Isaacson in the Pleasant View neighborhood. I want to raise a question about the noise level. The city has an ordinance on noise level, and I've read that today carefully. It called the police department. I was referred by the city to the police department to see if enforcement is done by the police. The officer I talked to couldn't find any complaints or any measurements of noise level. So I'd like to ask with all of you here, who measures the noise level coming out of LaBelle Edwards Stadium on football games and Stadium of Fire? I raise this because the city says that noise can be a danger to people. It can harm people, and we live a 5-minute walk from the stadium, and our windows shake during this time. And there must be 100 homes around us in that same situation. So I couldn't find if anybody in the city measures that noise level. I called BYU and couldn't get through to anybody. I don't know if BYU measures it, but
So BYU does, and we're within the parameters set by the ordinance.
it doesn't go over 100 and
Yeah, we're between
105 decibels.
Yeah, so we're between 70 to 90.
And that's the outer limit. For a residential area, it's much lower than that. And
But it is within the ordinance, it talks about a sports venue, and that's what it's talking about.
it says that the mayor has to give an exemption for it to go over.
But we're not over. Based on our test.
I'd like somebody in the city to look into this because I think it is over. And I think if an exemption's been made, it should be examined and considered in terms of what that does to our neighborhood around there.
Thank you.
So Beth, we'll have our head legal address this because this isn't the first time we've heard it. So
That has been under consideration lately. We've been having some meetings with members of the mayor's office. There are also not in your neighborhood, but just kind of in the same venue. We've been looking at the noise ordinance because there's a group that wants to do some concerts down where the old, I don't know, the Splash
Summit, yeah.
where the old Seven Peaks is. And so we've been looking at the noise ordinance. There's probably the ordinance is old. There's some loopholes in it because, for example, BYU is in the public facilities zone. It's not actually in one of the zones that's specified in the noise ordinance. So, but anyway, I guess the short answer is we're looking at that. Noise complaints do go to the police department. The police department is the one that handles them when they get called out. I don't know that we've ever had one made about. We've had calls to the mayor's office about the football games. I don't know that we've ever had calls to the police. BYU was also aware of the issue and they've been in discussions with the mayor's office. Really, all I can say at this time is that we're aware there's an issue. There's some issues with the ordinance. We're looking into it. I think BYU may be asking for an exemption. But as has been said, it's unclear whether they're even in violation. So we're looking at tightening up the regulations and making them at least more clear and figuring out how to resolve some of those things.
Who should I talk to for follow-up on this? Which
Dixon Holmes in the mayor's office, he's the deputy CAO, and as far as I know, he's been the one that's been heading up discussions with the different parties. Dixon Holmes.
And I will have Rachel email his contact out. This district.
Another question here.
Hi, Perry Ridge, Grandview South. I live just a couple blocks south of Westridge. Here tonight is a member of the community council at the school and a concerned parent. So 1500 West If you're not familiar with it, you go north or south on 1500 West, and people trying to go north and south from 800 North over to Stanhill, use Westridge as, or Grandview as a highway. So they go across 1500 West really quickly, the 1600 North, go really fast. Those are the main walking routes for the elementary school there. So I've been calling and pushing for about 2 years. A year ago, the community council, we submitted a request that something be done to slow people down. And then we submitted something again in November with a number of different ideas for both 1500 West and 1416 North. And we haven't heard anything. So hundreds of kids are using those roads to walk, and people are driving them like they're commuting to work. And I'm worried for my kids, I'm worried for the other kids. And I feel like we're just waiting for something bad to happen before we do something about it. And so I'm curious when, we can move on that, and if there's plans to address that.
So who can respond to that? Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. We have some speed trailers we can put up in that area. We have a community-oriented police officer that can work with you on certain times, especially during the school, when school's out, and in the mornings. We have a traffic enforcement team that can sit on that and also do some things for you. Where were your requests going?
So through the school district, so the community council submits it to the school district, and then they package them together and give them to someone in the city. The officer that's assigned to Westridge, we raised this with him about a year ago. And so he said he would do what he can do to increase the police presence in the area during high traffic times. But it seems like it's going to take something more than just increased ticketing in the area. So we had suggested a four-way stop at 1460 and 1500 West, so traffic stopping both directions, flashing lights on speed limit signs, speed bumps like exist on Carterville and Orem.
Absolutely. I think that we can help as part of that. We can also do the survey with our trailers. This shows you the actual speeds, how many vehicles are going that time. And you get a better perception of what you're looking at. So I'll have our community-oriented police officer reach out. The one that used to be there was promoted recently. It was Bryce Lewis. He used to live in this district. So we'll have a brand new one coming in. He's going to be reaching out to us.
And that, I know the school district side of that, right? You submit it as a community council, it goes into the safe walking plans process, but the school district has to get it to us. And so it'll be interesting to see if it's arrived yet. If it's been a year, we're hoping it's arrived somewhere. But we'll get your, in fact, let's get can we get your name and contact information so that we make sure this doesn't disconnect?
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Do we have time for one more question?
Oh, yeah, let's take one more. We've got like 2 minutes.
I'll be quick. My name is Marilee Jolly, and as we said, we own that lot next to where you want to put the walking path. We know that lot is a problem area, and we several times had to call the police to help us get transients out of that area. We try to keep the weeds down at the top of the hill, and but we would like to work with the city on doing something with that lot. And we just want you to know as neighbors that we're aware of it, and we're hoping to be able to do something with it that will make it more safe in that area.
Is there any department that would work with the Jollies on that? And
Have them get with the engineering board.
okay, one more quick question.
My name is Cameron Anderson. I live in the Pleasant neighborhood. We talk a lot about kids in relation to kind of pedestrian safety, but want to raise a question of if there's anything that addresses just everyone that doesn't drive a car. I think that's a growing population, especially among younger generations that are trying to be in cars less. And I am concerned just in general, especially in these neighborhoods, about safety of anyone who's not in a vehicle. There have been a lot of national studies that basically say if you're not in a car, nobody pays attention to you. So is there something that we can do as a community to create a better forum to talk about that as well? And outside just, the school districts, I think that's a great place to start, but also for everybody else that's not interested in being hit by a car anytime soon. So.
Is there, who would work with that? You again, yeah. And so I know we want to work with that in all of our neighborhoods. We talked about that at the last meeting, that we want to have walkable spaces in our neighborhoods and bikeable spaces. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you. It's the best part about these neighborhood meetings is I walk in here and I get to my girlfriend that I grew up with since, how old, Marilyn? Here, like junior high, forever. And her mom's here, so it's super fun. I mean, I've yet to come into one of these where I haven't had at least one or two personal connections. And that's the beauty of Provo. So again, I just want to thank my directors for all stepping up tonight and being here. I'm not lying just because I get to work every day. They're the best of the best. I really do want you to know how much I love being your mayor. Who would have thought that a little girl born and raised in Provo would end up being the 45th mayor and the first woman mayor in the city of Provo? I came from a unique situation with a single mom and 7 kids in a little house right off of Center Street, 2.5 bedrooms. And it was a unique upbringing. And yet, I mean, literally, like I'm speechless. And I want you to know that I don't take this seat lightly. I know that you've put me here to do some work, and I am working hard for you. And I really want to be as effective as a mayor as I can, and I want to make sure that I leave this city when I'm done. I know I don't own this seat. It's just a little bit of time I get to serve you. That I will help you set up for success when I'm done serving. So again, thank you for allowing me to serve you as your mayor. I really do appreciate this privilege. And I'll go ahead and excuse the
Thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for taking the time to sharing us a little bit. Chairs now.
Thank you very much.
The next meeting. We'll get the appropriate chair here to good talk.
Beth, did you want to have public comment at all? I had someone online that was waiting for the public comment.
Yes, we have a public comment.
Okay, let me see who.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so let me see, this was Dan. Dan, what was your comment? Still on there. Maybe, no, maybe we're done. Maybe we're done. Oh, wait. Okay, the 2200, 2230 North discussion. That might, did you want to do something where maybe you have someone from engineering?
Yeah.
Just for Q&A, just with engineering one night, maybe?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Beth.
Well, I got a car, but it's not. It was very interesting.
I love learning all about the city.
So the precinct wasn't big enough.